Hello everybody, this is Josiah with ABC Entrepreneur. Just coming to you today to talk about one of my ninja tricks that we use to really find a lot of amazing products to buy and sell on Amazon. And a lot of questions I get is, where do you find your products that you sell, and how do you source those, and how do you know they're going to be good products? And I'm going to go through one of the biggest things that we do to find new products, and it's something that many people don't realize they can do. And this is using a tool that we use in our business every day. It's market intelligence. It's put out by Viral Launch. If you don't have it, you should get it. I'm sure by the end of this video you'll understand why. So we're just going to switch over to Amazon, and I'm going to walk you through this, and we'll see if we come across anything. I haven't done this with the list that I'm working with on the website. We're just going to have fun and see what we can come up with and find together. Okay, so we've got Amazon open here, and I've also got Cole Imports opened up. Now, Cole Imports is just kind of a general goods store. One of the things that people get stuck with is trying to come up with ideas for products, and that's a really big letdown because there are so many products to think of, and really our brains just don't work that way. We get stuck in a groove and it's hard to get out of that. So I use these big websites like this that have tens of thousands of products just as idea generation. And if you notice, we're on the main page, but if you look over here, you can shop by price, by wholesale price. If you want to sell higher end goods, you can select a higher price. If you want to sell low end goods, select a lower price. If you want to just look in a category, say you want to look at and see what they have in kitchen and dining and start working there, or in school and office supplies, you can just select a category and start working through a category. But for today, I actually want to look at their best sellers. So that's in specials, and we're going to look at their best sellers. And actually, it's interesting because their specials have changed since 10 minutes ago when I looked. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, this is what I do, and this is, people tend to overthink what they do on Amazon, and it's real easy to do. You want to get ingrained in the details. Stay away from the details. Look at the simple basics of what to do. So let's look at this. This is a dartboard game with hard tip darts. So it's one of those games that has little pokies out. So it's safe for kids to play. They're not gonna poke their eyeballs out with the darts. But if we go over here onto Amazon, let's just look and see dartboard, and look at all the keywords that come up. These are all options for products. But we're going to select, if we back up one, because this is a kids dartboard, we're going to do kids dartboard as our keyword. And look, this is essentially what it is, right? These are magnetic. There are some that work otherwise, but really we're just looking at dartboards and see if this might be an option. I click up here on my Market Intelligence resource tool, and we just want to look at some top level data, and we're really not going to do anything with this data right now except to put it into an Excel spreadsheet. And actually, this looks like a really amazing product. You might not sell a lot of it, but oh my goodness, to have one review on page one for this product, and to sell almost $1,000 in monthly revenue, that's easy to do. This is something that I would easily jump on. There's not a ton of volume, but hey, it's something. It's $1,000 here, $1,000 there. Before you know it, you've got a $50,000, $60,000 business without much effort at all. So here's what I do with this. I actually enter everything as I'm doing this, and actually I don't do it anymore, into an Excel spreadsheet. That way I can go through and pick the best products to source, the best products to spend my time on. So many people spend a lot of time focusing on one product and digging into one product to see if it's worth it or not, instead of stepping back and saying, is this the product I should be digging into? And this process really steps back a bit and lets you pick the best products to dig deeper on to see if there's really some good options there. So first off, we just say what the keyword is that we typed in, and it's kids dartboard. Okay. Now, one of the neat things with market intelligence is they give this product idea score, and it's a star rating, 1 through 5. This is a 4.5 star rating. That essentially is a metric. Market intelligence has a lot of algorithmic details built into it that's really cool. But it's a metric of how many reviews compared to how many sales this thing does. You know, our second highest one is a magnetic dartboard, and we've got 39 reviews on it, but it's selling 400 a month. That's some serious volume. And that, I mean, you can make some good money off that for a price of I mean, that's a premium product. That's the most expensive product here. Now let that sink in for a minute. You know, 8 reviews selling 180 a month. You know, that's good. But, you know, not to get sunk into the details for a minute, this has got 4.5 stars. So all we do is we put in 4.5 stars. Now, market intelligence does some other cool things too. You get some detailed statistics. You get top 10 listings, page 1 listings, how many average sales they have, how many have average revenue, average price. We got average reviews. You know, it tells you kind of how hard it would be to rank. This is something that would be really easy to rank, actually. So, you know, right out the gate we're hitting something. Now this may also be a fourth quarter thing too. It may be a gift idea, so it may be slightly seasonal. But guess what? We can actually look at that too. So this is market trends, and this goes back to November of 16. Okay, so it goes back a year. And as you can see, there's quite a spike in November, December. But throughout the rest of the year, it has some volume. It's pretty decent. There was a jump up here. Oh, I bet you this is supposed to be 2015. Because this is coming up. This is, yep, this is 2016. And here we are in 2017. So there's some seasonality, but there's some fairly consistent sales throughout the year. You know, that's okay. Let's not get buried into all that. Sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. I find a good product and I like to worry at it, but we've got to stay up above the weeds here for a second. So I look at our top 10 listings and our page 1 listings. I want average sales on each, so 170 on top 10 and 156 on page 1. So top 10 was 170 average sales in page 1. I forget. See, if you remembered that, you're smarter than I am. 157. Okay, 157. Average review count. I just want to cross page 1, and that's 31. So really, it's awfully low. And if you look at the actual listings here, a lot of those reviews are buried in this first one. There's 800 reviews on that one. Everything else is fairly low for reviews. So that's the kind of thing we look at. And then we go and look at the average price on page 1. And this will tell us kind of what kind of price point we need to source and look for. So the average price on page 1 is $18.40. That means in order to have a good product, you know, this is only one step. This is just seeing if there's a good market for it. We've still got to find a product that we can sell. But this tells us, okay, this is our average price. We need to find something that we can buy in the $4 range, $4 to $6 range, and then we can make a tasty profit on it. So there's number 1. And actually, honestly, I don't do a lot of this anymore. I have a VA that does it, a virtual assistant. That's something that as time goes on, it's real easy to pick up. So we have egg separator, and this is a countertop display, but it's just an egg separator. So notice we go from kids, sports, to kitchen. So if we type that in, we look, there's a lot of low price points here. We don't let anything affect us, and we just look at the data. Really, it's all about the data. And this tool is going to have to think a minute. Okay, so we come up with a product idea score of 1.5. So it's a little different than the first one. If I can type. Okay. So let's dig into the detailed stats on this. Our top 10 listings, 195. Page 1 is 121. 195, 121. Okay. Our average review count for page 1 is 62. And our average price? Well, let's look at that too. $8.99. Now here's an interesting juxtaposition. You can see two products that are kind of on the opposite end. Notice the second product has twice the number of average reviews and less sales, average sales on page 1. So automatically we're saying, okay, there's more people here competing and there's fewer sales. And there's also, it's half the price. So, if we want to build revenue, if we want to build volume, there's not the ability to do so. I mean, the top guy here is selling $3,000 a month. So actually this top guy is doing pretty decently with the number of reviews, but everybody underneath him, I mean, look at the number of people that have 100 reviews or more. There are a few people on here who have no reviews and are doing okay. This is something that, if you could get it for the right price, might be worth your time. But overall, it's just kind of a meh. It's not a hot item. So we might want to back off on it and go to the next one. Okay, kitchen utensils. We're going to skip over that, knife and cutting board. Let's do this kitchen strainer set. And I'm just skipping over those. If I were going to do this for real instead of just demonstration purposes, I would go through each one of these. Because I don't want to skip over something going, oh, that won't work, when actually it could be quite a beautiful thing. I would skip over this because it's a display and I don't know what's in it. But kitchen strainer set. Kitchen strainer. Okay, what are we looking at? We have strainers. We have some sink strainers. Those are not the same thing. And let's just pull up our market intelligence. Now, if you don't have market intelligence, I'll have a link in the description of this video, around the video. If you click on that link, it'll take you to, you can get some free searches off the get-go, and after that it's $20 a month. This tool has made me thousands of dollars, so it's well worth the $20 a month. If you click on the link, you'll get a coupon for $10 off your first month. So it's something easy to check out. I think it's $25 off for a year subscription, I think. But I'm not sure. Okay, we're working on this. Sometimes it does load slowly, but it's just crunching a bunch of data. So no worries there. This last one is having issues loading, it looks like. I'm actually going to refresh this because sometimes It won't pull in information right. Looks like it's still having, there we go. See? Okay. Now this one is a 2.5. And I called it a kitchen strainer. I called it a kitchen strainer instead of a strainer because there are multiple other kinds of strainers and filters out there. Now we go into these detailed stats. There's a lot more sales in this, if you notice, but there's also a lot more reviews. So our average sales page 1 is 2432, and page 1 is 2121, top 10 is 2432. And honestly, you don't have to include this top 10 if you want to save yourself some time when you're putting together this spreadsheet, 2121. I just do because it gives an interesting view into the depth of the sales. And what I mean by that is how many people on page 1 that are below the top 10 listings, below the prime position per se, are selling decent volume. This number, being so close to that in percentage, tells me there's a fair amount of volume that's done across page 1. But if you notice, average price on page 1 is $11.29. There's 812 reviews. Okay. Now that's not saying this is a bad market to get into. I don't believe there's any such thing as a bad market. But this is information that you can take and say, if I'm going to rank here, I've got to be willing to put out some money to do so. Okay? And doing this quick work through on all these things will tell you what you're going to have to put out to do it. You know, if you need 800 reviews to reach average, you know, you've got to have some decent reviews just to move up. You know, you've got to do some fairly heavy giveaways. But, I mean, look at the average revenue that these people are making. So if you've got the kind of money to dump into a product like that, then that's your product. But that's not the kind of product I look for. I look for stuff that's easy, that's quick, and that I can make a lot of money on in a short amount of time. So here we've got silicone spatulas. If you've never heard a joke about silicone spatulas, no worries there. I'm sure you will if you hang around the Amazon too long. Utility scissors. And if you notice, I'm not even really looking at the products. I just want the data, because the data is going to give me a lot of good information right off the bat. Okay, product idea score is a 1 star. And average sales, top 10 is 900. Average sales on page 1 is 807. 908, 807. Well, that's some nice symmetry right there. 908, 807. As you can see, there's nothing really sexy or exciting about any of this. Really just put on some music, put on a show, and just work your way through one of these lists. And you might be shocked by some of the stuff that comes up that you would never think of if you were just trying to think of products. But you'll come up with stuff that can be amazing to sell. And then you just go out and find it. And if you're having issues finding it, we're going to have videos coming out later that are going to show you how to find those items. 375 reviews. So, you know, it's not an issue here. Actually, I might look at this dartboard and see if use that as an example in a later video to see if we can find some good sources for dartboards. But all that being said, don't worry about supply right now. What you're really trying to do is trying to find a good market that you'd be interested in going into. Okay? If you notice this, the reason this is considered a 1-star is your average reviews are almost 400, and it's kind of a 1 to 2, so for every 1 review you'll get 2 sales per se, is how they're calculating that to say how competitive the market is. But you look at this one up here, for every 1 review you get 5 sales. So to spend a little money or to give a few away and get a few reviews, there are still ways to do that. You can easily rank for this, and if you recall on this one, right now it looks like it might be the best option for the 4 that we came up with. But I wouldn't stop at 4, I would get 20, I would get 50, and then start working through those and saying what are the best options for the amount of money that I have, and for the amount of sales that I want to make, and for the amount of profit. And then you go find source on those products. And this is really all I do to find new products. And using this method, my team can find 20 products in the space of 2 or 3 days that we're going to launch. We go through, do some quick product research, go back through, highlight the ones that we're really interested in, go find sourcing for those, and within a week we can have 20 new products on their way, to get photographs taken, to get listings written, and up on Amazon within 2 or 3 weeks. And this is how you explode a business. It's not by trying to find hot niches on Amazon, chasing stuff. It's by finding good old boring stuff. Walk yourself through a retail store sometime and open up the market intelligence app on your phone and just start searching keywords, and you might be surprised what comes up. You can find some really amazing things. I like to use websites or product lists that I already have, and just give them over to somebody and have them work through the entire website. Take all 10,000 products or whatever Cole Imports has, and do all of the keyword searches and see what comes up. And it can be amazing, the ideas that you find. And so this is really the key, in my opinion, to finding good products quickly that nobody else is targeting. And if you do this, it's going to explode your business. So that being said, if you don't have market intelligence, get it. It's an amazing tool. It'll help you tremendously in your search for products to sell. If you have it, get to using it. Use it for all it's worth. It's got some amazing things. It'll give you average sales across for the history that it's been tracking those products. It'll give you price trends. It'll give you little tips and tricks here and there. It's an amazing tool, and you should definitely be using it. And if you aren't, you're missing out. So that being said, that's my secret sauce to finding amazing products. If you like the video, follow me. We're going to be putting out a lot more of these. I really want to see more people successful on Amazon. I really want to see more people who are selling and profiting, making money. And I'm going to do everything in my power to show you insider tips and tricks that will get you a long ways in that regard. So follow me, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you found this video. Make sure you subscribe. That way you can get more of this content as it comes out. And just follow along, and we'll see what it does to your business too. So signing off till next time.